What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Welcome to Florida, man.
Yeah, I love it, man.
So you just came out from New York?
I definitely just came 31 years in New York.
Cool.
Yeah.
So why Florida?
So I have an 8-year-old son that's been out here all his life since 2013, and for the last about 10, 12 years, I've been back and forth. And it was just about time that I made the decision to say, let's move to Florida, because my kids are out here. I have an 8-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter.
So family, basically.
Family, and I just knew that it was a calmer lifestyle for me. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause New York is kind of hectic. It's crazy up there.
Yeah, New York is definitely it's the city that never sleeps, man.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, to me it's zombie land, honestly.
I mean, it's easy to get in trouble in New York. You just go outside and there's everything.
Yeah, I mean, you walk outside, you see 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went up there for the first time, I was just nuts. I couldn't believe, I was just like, what the crap? I literally had a panic attack.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, Manhattan is crazy. And it's just like, we've never seen that. So here, do you feel like it's more boring here, though?
Nah, I don't. The word boring is not in my vocabulary. To me, being bored is a lack of motivation, and I do my best in not using the word bored, because it just means that I'm lazy to just get up and go do something, so that I'm not bored.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think out here is just it's a lot calmer. Like in New York, I was living a real fast lifestyle, and doing a lot of crazy nonsense, getting caught up into a lot of BS.
Needlessly,
And,
sometimes, you think, too?
What was that?
Needlessly, sometimes,
Yeah, like just being outside, you could get in, just hanging out with the wrong people, it could be trouble.
Okay.
And for me, I need more discipline, stability, and just being able to get away from the bull crap that New York comes with.
Gotcha. A lot of times, when you move, I moved to a different state. I grew up down here.
Yeah.
And then I went to Alabama for a year, and I lasted a year up there. It's almost like sometimes you bring your problems with you.
Yeah.
And it kind of happened to me to an extent.
Yeah.
When you move to a different place, you have to adapt differently.
For sure.
Is there anything you miss?
From New York?
Yeah.
My mother a lot. I personally, I have a real close relationship with her, so
That's tough, yeah.
she lives. I mean, it is, but it isn't, because at the end of the day, I needed to spread my wings and do things without her,
Yeah.
so that I could be independent on my own, because she's not gonna be here forever. But yeah, I miss my mom. I do miss, because I'm a people person, honestly, and I love conversating with people. I love sharing information that I know is free. You know what I'm saying? And for me, in New York, I got a lot of different personalities at any given time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Out here, you meet people at the stores and stuff. You don't really walk down the block and see people, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Unless you're in your community, you walk into the garbage or something. Right.
Yeah, that FaceTime goes a long way, though, for family when you're far away. I mean, the fact that you can just go on your phone and see them.
Yeah. FaceTime, Messenger, all that crazy video, WhatsApp. I use it. To be honest, I'm probably the only one that contacts my family more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did like what you said. Where you go, you bring your problems.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel the same way. Like wherever I go, I bring myself with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I don't think it matters where you're at, the environment, because you're still, like you said, you bring yourself with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're trying to make it better.
I don't use the word try. I'm doing my best.
All right.
I'm making an effort. I strive to do my best, and just to put myself and my family, first.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, at some point, you had trouble with the law?
At some point, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of points in my life. So being that I'm 31, I literally just moved to Fort Myers about a month ago.
Yeah.
So honestly, I come from New York. I got over 30 arrests.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and not that I'm proud of it. It's not something I'm proud of. It's just something that, being Hispanic got me in trouble a lot. And
so you felt like in New York, even in New York, a place that is almost like a headquarters of Latino culture.
Right.
Being Hispanic was a problem for you there?
Yeah, for sure. Minority, yeah.
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 I mean, because most of my friends here that went through a lot too.
Yes.
Not on the same scale as in a big city,
Yeah.
but we went through it too. Like, I think out of all the friends that I grew up with in my neighborhood, probably like...
In Florida?
Yeah, right here in Florida.
It was a Republican state.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I lived in a Democrat state.
So it didn't matter either way.
I don't think it did. I think out here it's worse.
Yeah, it's worse here.
Out here you get treated worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so like they're even like within, like, we look at as Hispanics, we look at as, oh, if I live in Miami or I live in New York, I'm not gonna have to deal with that crap.
No, definitely not. Well, I mean, maybe not so much now, but my years were in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Growing up, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 2018, I think is when I got like my first arrest. No, 2008. I'm sorry. 2008. Yeah. 2008. I got my first arrest at 18 years old, and ever since that first one, it's just been constant. It was constant. Like trespassing, possession of marijuana. Bull crap.
Okay.
Bullshit. Honestly.
Almost unnecessary stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of my charges were like dropped.
Yeah.
It wasn't really, petty larceny, stealing candy and shit like that. But it wasn't bad until I went to Connecticut and started, getting into other stuff.
So they got hoods in Connecticut too?
Yeah, I was living in Bristol.
Okay, how's that?
I loved it. I loved it at the time. But I think it kind of like, to be honest, moving to Bristol, Connecticut in 2022. I mean, 2022. In 2002, moving out there, it basically changed my life. Yeah, my life changed moving to Connecticut because I had my first son in 2003, 2013.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And yeah, I got arrested in Connecticut for robbery, but the robbery was stealing breast chicken from Stop and Shop, and I took it from the manager's hand.
Oh, that changes everything.
And that changes everything.
So you took it from a shelf.
No, I took it from the shelf, brought it to the front.
Yeah, but the moment you took it from his hand, that just changed.
I took it from his hand, they charged me with robbery.
That's a whole.
And I did like 17 days in Somers, Connecticut, Osborne Correctional Facility. And then bullshit after that, I went to Pennsylvania, Reading, Pennsylvania. My brother was living, and I got caught up out there for some possession of a controlled substance. And I did another 15, 17 days in Berks County, Reading, Pennsylvania, out there. But it's not something I'm like proud of. Yeah, it's not something I'm proud of. But yeah, it's definitely something I've learned to keep myself out of jail. Yeah, so for being arrested so many times, I've learned, following rules and, being responsible.
Discipline,
making the right choices. Yeah, I also been to 6 drug programs.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to deal with a lot of heavy drugs.
Okay.
I struggled with a lot.
That just destroys your life pretty much, don't it?
Yeah, drugs destroy your life for sure.
I mean,
it destroyed mine, but I'm very spiritual, so my God helped me get through everything that I was dealing with, and has gotten me out of.
Do you ever feel like when you started that you thought maybe you felt like you had control, like it wasn't going to overtake you?
What?
When you started using, did you ever feel like at first, like, oh, I got this?
I got this.
Yeah, I'm not addicted.
Yeah. Well, there's steps to it. You know, you first become. For me it becomes. For me it became something I did on the weekends, and then something I did with just friends, and then only when I hanged out with girls, and then after a while, certain drugs became my life, and I didn't.
You're not able to control that transaction, though. The transition between just like weekend to now.
I mean, I don't believe in functional drug addicts. A lot of people say they use cocaine.
I can handle it. I can handle
and
that.
Do all these drugs, but still go to work, and you might find people who are still working but getting high and using. Honestly, for me, I think it's a lie. I think if you're using drugs, you're lost, and you don't have the answers, and you think you know everything, but you really don't know shit.
Yeah.
Because
that's a big problem with a lot of my friends and people that I love is that you tell them, hey, look, it doesn't seem like you have control, but they think they have control.
Yeah. I mean, an active addiction for any drug, your mind goes from a conscious state to a subconscious state where, basically your thoughts and what you eat and what you wear you're being told. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I personally, I seen quickly what it did to me and how it ruined my life, and it made me choose things that I probably didn't want to choose, and I personally.
Because a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people go through that, and they don't ever get to the stage where they realize, okay, this is no longer a voluntary thing. Like, I'm no longer in control.
Yeah, drugs definitely take control of your life, and my life definitely took control of my life. And at one point in time, all I did was chase a bag.
Yeah.
I even lost my brother to a heroin overdose.
Wow.
In 2017.
Was he younger or older than you?
He was about a year older than me.
Wow.
Yeah, but
so you guys were close.
We were close, closer probably than any of my other brothers. Yeah. Rest in peace, Sergio. But yeah, man. I personally, I had to make the decision of for me in life, I didn't want to continue making the same mistakes, so I had to learn that being smart. I had to learn that people who are smart learn from their mistakes, but people who are wise learn from others' mistakes.
Exactly.
And I personally, today in my life, want to learn from others' mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to live in your own skin. Yeah, you don't want to live in your own skin.
Yeah. So I just, I make the conscious decision each and every day to say no, and to basically, allow God to work in my life and continue to be a blessing to me and my family.
You mentioned being Puerto Rican.
Yes, sir.
Puerto Ricans are born U.S. citizens.
Right.
Isn't it crazy that even though you're born a U.S. citizen,
you
still face discrimination for not being American?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of like... you ever think about that?
So, yeah, I definitely do. I personally, I consider myself American.
Oh, you are? Yeah, if you're Puerto Rican.
My mother is Puerto Rican. She was born out there. You know what I'm saying? But she lives in America now. But for me, I'm an American. I was born in America. You know what I'm saying? Even though my parents are born in a different country or state or whatever you want to call it, I personally, I didn't think I would be targeted the many times that I was targeted. Yeah. And I just think that it was just because I was young and I didn't know my rights like I know today. Yeah. And like, simple things like, I don't have to provide ID to an officer if he doesn't basically, articulate a crime that I've committed.
Gotcha.
Or suspects me of committing or have committed or about to commit.
Yeah.
And if an officer can't articulate a crime that he suspects me of committing or suspected or about to commit or have committed, then I don't really need to have any conversation with this officer. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. But people down here, I don't know so much in New York because it's a diverse place. You know,
for sure.
Like, what other than Puerto Ricans? Well, you're in Brooklyn, right?
Right.
What other communities are up there?
Well, so I grew up around a lot of Polish people, Jewish people, Romanian, Gypsies, Yugoslavian, a lot of Europeans.
Okay, so here you don't have too much of that mix. So
Right.
people here in Fort Myers tend to be a lot more prejudiced than New York, let's say. So already, like, you can't control the tattoos that are on your skin.
Right.
But the way you go about yourself here is a very prejudiced place.
Right.
So you being who you are makes you comfortable as a person.
Right.
But you also have to be aware of how you being who you are is going to affect your outcome in employment, housing,
For sure.
all that, you know?
For sure. I personally, I think over the years I've learned to not so much focus on the next person and what they got going on. I've learned to love Joshua and put myself first. And to me, the highest form of happiness is inner peace, and that's where I'm at today. If I focus on someone else's shit they got going on, I take the focus off myself. But for me, growing and who the person I am and who God needs me to be, I personally don't really focus too much on everybody else. And whether they're prejudiced or not. If that person is prejudiced or racist, then that's their shit that they got going on. I'm not too focused on that. For me, I'm more focused on enjoying life and like I said, just being happy. And no one makes me happy. I find that happiness within myself.
Exactly. You're the same person. Whether you're in $1 million house or you're homeless underneath a bridge, you're still the person you are.
Yeah.
And how much you have shouldn't, and it will influence, but it takes time to realize that you're the same person homeless or in a prison cell as you are in $1 million house. You're still that same person.
Correct. Yeah, but you do know that money changes people. Some of them know what to do with it, some of them don't. But for me, like, the focus, like I said, is mostly Joshua. I don't really focus too much on everyone else.
Gotcha.
And it's not that it's a bad thing. Some people might think it's a bad thing. I just personally have too much going on with me and my head and my thoughts, to sit there and deal with someone else's issues and problems.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So back then, it used to be that when people came from New York to Florida, they used to be older and they were well off.
Right.
There's just a lot more family type people coming down here.
Yeah.
Like, what's leading to young people deciding that they don't want to be in a big city?
I think it's look where we're at. We live where people vacation at, right? So personally, I've been in Florida, back down to Florida into New York for the last maybe about 10, 15 years, and it was just for me, it was a matter of time. For other people, it could be, getting away from, again, the bullshit in New York. You gotta remember, New York is a condensed area. They're 8 million deep in a little, we're literally in a can stuffed like sardines in New York. You know what I'm saying? Out here, this open road. There's space. You know what I mean? In New York, it's not so much. You got millions of people. Stuck up each other's.
Yeah.
ASS. Yeah.
So now, when you look at that lifestyle, what it costs to live in New York versus what it costs here, like, do you think it's cheaper here, more expensive over there, about the same?
I think it depends on what you're looking for, because right now I'm paying $1,600, but I have a two bedroom, 2.5 bathroom townhouse,
and you
duplex.
Yeah, and you got like you got a Whole Foods right there.
Yeah.
You got like everything.
Yeah, everything's right next.
You got
to
fancy stuff out here.
Yeah, everything's right next to me.
Yeah.
I mean, in New York, it was the same thing though.
So the cost of housing
in New York, you could walk to the Whole Foods. In New York, you could walk to the.
You don't need a car. Here, you need two.
Yeah,
you need one in case the other one breaks.
You
yeah.
need a car.
You need
I
two.
didn't even have a car in New York, honestly.
You need 2 cars.
At
here.
all. Not once.
Yeah.
I didn't own a car once in New York.
You need 2 cars. You need one in case the other one breaks, and you got the other one.
Yeah, yeah. In New York, the transportation is so
Easy.
fluent, that you can't not miss the bus, you can't not miss the train. You know, it's just constant. And out here, you know, it's a big state. I just think that it's more spread out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But about what you pay to live costs about the same, really.
I think so. Yeah, it might be a little more cheaper out here.
Okay.
For sure.
Now, when you go to
almost the same because a 2-bedroom you can find for $1,600 out there.
Yeah. Now, when it comes time to get paid, you think probably make more money up there though?
You definitely do. I do tractor trailers, Class A, CDL.
Nice.
And I was offered from Land Air $96,000 for a route for Dollar General in New York a year, coming out of Queens Village. And I told him, listen, I'm not living in New York, I'm not living in Florida. He said, well, yeah, I found something in Florida for you too, $46,000 a year. So it went from $96,000 in New York to $46,000 in Florida. So yeah,
but housing is pretty about the same.
What do you mean?
Like you said, like the housing costs. So like,
I think it's definitely cheaper out here.
Yeah.
Because you could rent a home for $1,600. Out there, you're not gonna get a home for $1,600.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for certain things, in certain areas, it might be the same. Like apartments, you might find the same apartment, 2-bedroom. It's definitely probably nicer out here.
Yeah.
Because we got the beaches, we got islands, Captiva Island, Sanibel Island.
You gone fishing yet?
Marco Island. I haven't gone fishing yet.
You gotta go fishing.
So take me. Let's go right now.
I gotta go work. I got 1,000 things to do.
Yeah.
But
personally, I love fishing. I just
check out my channel.
Settling in still.
Check out my channel called Jose Likes Fishing.
Yeah.
I don't upload to it a lot, but there you'll find out all the spots. And it's pretty simple, bro. If you're on these lakes out here, use a plastic worm. Okay? And if you go on the ocean, use live shrimp.
Bait.
That's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you catch bait fish too?
You can catch with a cast
No,
net.
do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You got a cast net and everything?
I got a cast net. Yeah. But like out here, these lakes, you'll get huge bass, man.
Yeah.
Like any of these little lakes out here in Fort Myers, you'll get huge bass. Use like a plastic worm.
Also, too, I think what also made me make the decision to leave was I went snorkeling July 4th.
Oh snap! Where at?
But in the East Coast, Port St. Lucie.
Oh, okay.
And I fell in love with it. And also,
I've never done that, man. That sounds fun.
No, it was amazing.
You got to train for it?
Atlantic Ocean, no, snorkeling, you could do that.
Okay.
Yeah. But also, there's a place called Ginny Springs or Ginny Springs.
Ginny Springs up in North Florida.
Up in North Florida. It's actually in High Springs, Florida.
Yeah.
Next to Gainesville.
Yeah.
It's 7 different springs that lead into the Santa Fe River.
Yeah.
And they got caves down there. And I met a guy that was scuba diving, and he was 50-something years old, and he told me he wished that at my age he knew about scuba diving because he would have did it earlier.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember that the world is 30% land and 70% water. So when people tell you, oh, I've been to Italy, Europe, Mexico, the Bahamas, the Grand Canyon, all these different places, but they've only seen 30% of the world.
Yeah.
The other 70% is underground, underwater, and that for me is something that I want to explore more. Scuba diving, cave diving, get to see the underwater 70% of the world that a lot of the average person doesn't get to see.
Just make sure you don't do it in the fresh water, because we got a lot of gators out here, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure, no. I'm definitely gonna go about it the legit way.
Yeah, there's a lot of gators, and the thing about the springs is the water's colder, so the gators they're not as active.
And the population of people too.
Up down in this area,
they
don't go in fresh water.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, appreciate you, man.
Yo, man.
You have a beautiful day, man.
Enjoy, brother.
And thank you for your time. If they like your video, maybe like 2 or 3 months from now we can hit up again or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
See if they like your video.
For sure.
All right, bro.